YouTube, Shinobi here with a review of the Kamen Rider Ghost Gadget Series 2 Cobra Keitai. So as the name suggests, this is just a Cobra phone, Keitai usually being used for cell phones, while Denwa is used for like landline phones. So we had the Denwa, or the Den-War as they punned it up. And we don't have a pun on this one at all, which is really disappointing. But this was released in November 2015 for about 2,800 yen or so, give or take, depending on where you picked it up. So only a little bit cheaper than the Condor, which is disappointing considering, as you can tell by the box, this one is relatively small. It's about the same size box as the little Reshas for Resha Untitled Chapter. So keep that in mind, but as it shows on the top of the box, it can transform and attach to the Gan Gun Hand to form the Kama Mode. Kama is like a sickle sort of thing. The weapon that Mikey uses when he's not using nunchucks in the new TMNT cartoon. So there you go. So there is that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just get this open and take a look. Alright, here it is. The outside is very, very boring. You got a design right there. On the front, you just have this big brick thing used for the attachment. So yeah, it's very, very boring on the outside. This is not an aesthetically pleasing cell phone toy from the outside. Flip it open and it does actually look kind of cool. You have a number pad here. There's no numbers etched in, obviously, but you got the typical flip phone sort of number pad down here. Up on top, you have a main menu with a really boring background. Get some better wallpaper there, Specter. But you got the signal, the battery, the other signal, Wi-Fi signal, and normal signal, I suppose. The time, 8 o'clock, because that's when Ghost airs. And then you got all the little icons, pun intended, maybe? I don't know. For all the little features like settings, camera, music, weather, YouTube, go with YouTube, a planner, it's a calendar, phone, messages, I don't know what that is, I don't know, whatever. Then down here you have another settings and another music and whatever that is. So the apps, I don't know, but it does hold together pretty well. So you got that. It's a nice looking little flip phone toy. I will definitely give it that. The inside looks a lot cooler than the outside does. Like I said, the outside is very plain. But that is that. No sounds, no anything. Again, very much would have benefited from sounds. The back clock coming up next, I should actually be getting that in the mail tomorrow. It has sounds, and it looks really cool. This definitely would have been a toy that benefited from sounds or something like that. So, that is that. To get it into the Cobra mode, or the animal mode, this is the gadget mode, as the box so describes. Flip this out and around, and down. So very, I want to say fluid motion, but it's a lot of little like clicky little ratchet things. And then this will just open up like so. Once again, it just opens straight up. And then there you go. There's the Cobra. Yeah, they could have designed this a lot better. Basically, my thought is if there was some sort of split in here that could flip it out to make this wider and more level, then we would be game. As it stands, you really have to kind of fiddle with this in order to get it balanced right there. So as you can see, it does turn out relatively tall considering what a small cell phone toy it is. But again, it's really hard to hit that sweet spot, or sweet point is what I was going for, of a balance here. And once you get it, it's alright. But if you wiggle it just the wrong way, then it's going to tower down on you. And it's really disappointing that they couldn't found a way to make this a little more stable. Like, just include it's a ratchet joint in here. So just make the ratchet to where it was straight, and you wouldn't have to kind of fiddle with it between ratchet points. But once you get it in a good position, it does make a really interesting Cobra, albeit a really dinky Cobra. I mean, he's not that long of a Cobra. So he'll probably be made fun of on the playground of Cobras. But I digress. It's an alright animal mode. It just doesn't impress me a whole lot. To quote Shania Twain, that don't impress me much. Whoa. Now, another thing you can do is, thanks to this joint, because of the way that the mode is made, you can kind of fiddle with him a little bit and get him in a kind of alternate sitting mode. It does make the toy quite a bit smaller, but you can kind of get away with hiding the fact that he's a really dinky Cobra. So there's that. Alternate posing methods. I think I would probably display him like this just because there's a little less likely chance of him falling down, and when he does, it's just like that. It's not major, like when you're trying to stand him up straight. So this is kind of my preferred method of posing this guy. Like I said, it's just a little bit more stable. Now to get him into the preparation for the Kamen Mode, you just take the tail and make it completely straight. Now keep in mind that there are different ways of doing this. So you can either make it totally straight and there's a little bit of a hump there, or kind of keep the curve natural. It does like to wiggle quite a bit. I will warn you right now that that joint is not tight, so there's a lot of wiggle room there. By doing that, there's still a little bit of wiggle room, but it likes to snap right back in that position. So it's really up to you on how you want to manage it, but it is definitely a little wiggly end of a comma. And close that up, and that is that. It's basically the phone mode with its little dingle out. So that is that. So now to grab our weapons, take our Gan Gun Hand, attach it right there, and then close it up. This will make it look like it is holding the device, which I think is kind of cool. Like I dig what it's going for. It doesn't matter if you're extended or not. And then closing it up. It makes the same sounds no matter what. So it doesn't matter if you have the hand open or closed. But closed is the actual combination for this, because it makes it look like it's holding the little sickle end and such like that. Again, just like the Gan Gun Hand review, it is rather dinky, but it does work, and it is kind of cool. Obviously, when you're going to want to try to hold it a little bit more straighter, because you're holding like a sickle, not like a gun or anything like that. So in the show, he generally kind of has one hand like this and then the other like this, because the prop is a lot bigger and actually looks more like a scythe. So there's that. But again, being the small dinky toy, there isn't a whole lot you can do. Like I said, there's multiple sounds that we went over already. Got those sounds, and of course you have a new final attack. It sounded a lot like Omega Tongue, but I assure you it's Omega Fang. It just says it really, really strange. To remove it, just flip that back, press the button, and extend out. Now, despite the fact that the instructions, the box, anything, disregards the Gan Gun Saber completely, it is fully capable with the Gan Gun Saber. So if you just take that and just attach it like you normally would, just like that, we do actually get a full new sound. So that's really cool. This is kind of more like a compact, hand-sized sort of sickle. Another thing that you can do in this mode that I think is really cool is if you take this part off and go ahead and attach it to the bottom like the Naginata mode, it kind of makes it a little bit more extended of a toy. And I could honestly argue this to be a Scythe mode for the Gan Gun Saber. Now, like I said, at the time of this video, this has yet to appear in the show and is not mentioned in the instructions whatsoever, so I have no idea what to call it. But I'm going to go with this Naginata formation and just call it a Scythe mode to kind of differentiate a little bit from the Kamen Mode of the Gan Gun Hand. So that is really cool. And of course, this actually, despite being unnamed and not in the show yet, does have its own final attack. So that gives you Omega Crash, and I could easily say that this was meant for a different toy, but there's dial tones and stuff in there, so it's clearly recognizing the fact that the phone is attached. So I'm assuming this mode might come up later on in the series at some point. Maybe if Ghost ever gets a hold of Tutankhamun Damashi, then we shall see. But for now, I'm just going to tentatively title this as Scythe Mode, and I really like it quite a bit. So overall, the Cobra Keitai is just okay. It's not really all that great, but it's not an awful toy either. It does have compatibility with both the Gan Gun Hand and the Gan Gun Saber, which I've been touting to be, to be saying, we'll just go with saying, to be the best ghost toy on the market right now, and I still completely agree with that. So that is really cool. If you do have the Gan Gun Saber or the Gan Gun Hand, this is a really nice pickup to add a little bit of playability to that toy. On its own, it's not as cool as the Condor Denwar to me. That was just a really fun toy to transform and have its different modes, and I like its mode with the Gan Gun Saber quite a bit. And this one just doesn't add a whole lot. I think that Cobra Mode is really weak, and the phone mode, while the inside is cool, when it's folded up, it just looks really boring. And given the price is only 200 yen lower than the much bigger Condor Denwar, it just doesn't really seem all that worth it. If you can get it on a discount, absolutely, it is a fun toy, and like I said, it does add playability to the other toys in the line, the Gan Gun Hand, the Gan Gun Saber. At the price point, it's not entirely worth it as a toy. Thankfully, the Bat Clock looks really cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the Spider Lantern has in store too later on for the line. So definitely not as good as the Condor Denwar, but still it's alright in its own merits. So that about does it for this review. If you like it, go ahead and blast that like button, comment below, and subscribe for more. So as always, thanks for watching, take care, and have a great one. Bye.